So now we are on YouTube too. So hello people from YouTube, my name is Gabriele and today I will guide the conversation here. Here we are going to talk about phobias. So let me explain a little bit how TNT works. TNT is a language platform for beginners, intermediate and advanced speakers for several languages like such as French, Spanish, Italian and English as well. Immersion meetings are not regular classes, so here we don't correct you or interrupt you during your speak. I'm not a teacher, I'm just a student in a process of improving my English too. So here we are in a safe and a respectful place, so feel free to make mistakes here and enjoy the conversation, okay? So guys, all the questions are on the chat. And let's get started. Gabriel, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. And good evening. Good evening, Fernando, as well. I forgot. I'm Gabriel Quirino. I'm 25 years old. I work as a fireman, fighter, you know. Let me see what else. I'm here in TALKNTALK around 2 months. I'm studying English around 1.5 year. What else? I'm married. I have no kids, and I think that's it.
And you, Fernando, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Good evening. Well, I live in Brasilia. I am 33 years old. I am graduating languages. And I am almost done with my post-graduation in English teaching methodology. So I really like this English thing. And I also love music, love going to concerts, watching movies, series, pets. I am a dog person. I love dogs, but I also really like cats. And yeah, I think basically that's it.
Okay, so my name is Gabriele, of course. I'm 31 years old. I'm from Pelotas, a city in the south of Rio Grande do Sul, but nowadays I'm living in Rio de Janeiro. I'm a scientist and entrepreneur too. I'm a graduated in food engineering. And I don't have brothers and sisters. I don't have cats and dogs, but I intend to adopt one in the next month. I'm a single person. All my family stay in Rio Grande do Sul. And on my free time, I really like to stay at home, watching movies and series and listen to music or go or hang out with my friends. Because here in Rio, we have a lot of places to visit and enjoy together. So I think that's it. Fernando, can you choose a question? You can choose whatever you want to start the conversation.
Let's see. Number 4. Okay, I'll start talking about my phobia. The question is, do you or anyone you know have any phobias? And yes, I do. I was thinking if I can consider a phobia, and I think I can, which is I am really afraid of flying by airplanes. Really, I get terrified. In the moment I am getting to the airplane, I get freeze. I get it's difficult to breathe, you know. I really panic. I freak out. But I wasn't I was not sure if I could consider a phobia, because it's not something that that prevents me to take an airplane. I love traveling, so it's a fear that I face every time I travel. And but I think I can consider, because I really freak out.
Yeah, I'm thinking here, like, it's not a thing that blocked you to go to another place, but when you are in an airplane, you feel afraid, or maybe, I don't know, do you have a traumatic experience in an airplane or no? To develop this phobia or no?
Yeah, I had. It was on my first flight. It was terrible. It was a very there was a lot of turbulence and a storm, and it was terrible. Even for people that were used to fly, it was a difficult flight. So it was my first flight. So probably that's the reason.
Yeah, it's not a good first impressions about flying.
Yeah.
And you, Gabriel?
Yeah, I was try to remember about me, but I think I can't remember right now about me if I have some phobias, but I don't remember. But I know, and my wife older than me. I think in my mind she has a phobia about snakes and spider, because it's very hard. My wife, when I see anyway some things in my smartphone or on TV, and my wife can't see no nothing about this kind of thing, and TV and smartphone. It's very hard. And my wife, when she sees something about it, this spider or snakes, she dream about that at night. It's very difficult to her.
Oh my God. And do you remember that she had a traumatic experience with snakes or something like that?
No. Maybe when she was in childhood, but I since I know since I know her, I don't remember.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that have the same phobia because she can't see images or whatever you imagine about snakes, because she feels so afraid to see photos or memes or whatever you think about it. It's terrible for her. And sometimes I try to be careful to share something with her, because sometimes there is I don't know, like a smile, but not a smile, but a figure like a snake. And I try to don't send to her, because it's I don't know, she's so afraid of it. So I think to be careful with her. And I remember that she didn't have an experience before with snakes, and I don't know why she has this phobia. And she tried to treat this phobia in the past, but I don't know if she get it or no. And in my case, I don't have a specific phobia, and I don't consider that what I have it's a phobia, because I'm not feel comfortable in crowded places, like crowded room, crowded shows. It's like I'm not feel afraid of, but I'm feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like I'm trying to think about, oh my God, if I don't know, if something happens with me in this place, with a crowded place, what will you do? And it's not a place. Sometimes I avoid this type of place, like parties and maybe shows, but it's more difficult because I really like shows. But I try to avoid this type of place because I'm not feel comfortable to stay in. But yeah, it's not, I don't consider it's a phobia, because it's not blocked me to go to this place, but it's a thing that think a lot before to go to this place. So yeah. And Gabriel, you can choose one question and answer for us, and we continue the discussion.
Okay, let me see. Number 6. How can you differentiate between phobia and fear? Well, I think in my mind, maybe it's almost the same thing, but I think the phobia is bigger than fear in my mind, because I think the phobia, you can't see anything, nothing about this kind of thing. Like my wife can't see nothing about this snakes and spider. And my case, obviously, I don't have I don't have fear about this kind of animals, because I work with it. Because sometimes person called the fire station, and we need to catch this kind of animal. But I think it's a fear much. How can I say? I forgot the word. Let me see. I forgot. Bigger. I don't know. I forgot. Then a fear. It's a bigger, bigger fear. Yeah, it's a fear. I forgot the word. I think you got it.
Yeah, and I agree with you, because I think phobia is like a thing that blocked you to do something. Like when we have a fear, we can live better than a phobia. And I think when we have a phobia, you need to go to the doctor and try to do a treatment to live better, because it's a thing that compromise your life. Like maybe you don't do something because you have a big fear of something, and you need to treat it, because it's like a thing that I think it's not just a fear, it's a thing that you feel so afraid to do, and this blocked you to live better. Like for me, it's something like that. And for you, Fernando?
Yeah, I agree with you that is more about the level. When the fear is it's stronger, can be a phobia. But I don't know, because I don't know if it's just a phobia when it blocks us to do something. Because, for example, back to my flying thing, I really believe that is a phobia, because it brings me like lack of. It's difficult to breathe for me, so I start sweating. It's really I get in the panic mood. I don't know, and it doesn't block me to do the things. I face this, but at the same time, I think that it might be a phobia. So sometimes we can face our phobias too. Maybe is not that the different something that blocks us to do something. But I think it's more about the level.
Yeah, and now I'm changing my mind, because I totally agree with you. I think, I'm thinking about it now, and I think phobia is like a thing that debilitates you to do something, because you feel so afraid in this situation, and it debilitates you to finish something or to stay in this environment. So I think the best word is debilitate. It's a thing that debilitates you, not blocks you.
Yeah, perfect. That's it. I totally agree.
So, okay, I choose a question for us. Question number 3. What are some phobias that you have heard about? What I know about phobia, it's like in a general way, like simple phobias, animal phobias, okay, like phobias like dogs or snakes or spider. I think we have environmental phobias like to stay in high place or deep or dark place, and maybe phobias involving your body, like to blood or vomit or to have a vaccine, something like that. And situations phobias like flying, staying in a crowded room, go to a doctor, because I don't know, but one day I met a girl who has a big fear to go to the doctor, and it's like she didn't do the exams that she needed because she was so afraid to go to the doctor and know about what she had in the past. So it's crazy because it's a thing that really compromises your life and your health. But I understand sometimes people are so afraid to go to the doctor, especially dentist. And yeah, this is the type of phobias that I know. And you, Gabriel?
Yeah, I think I know a lot of phobias, but to me, the most wired that I've heard about, I think called in English maybe tryponophobia. In Portuguese means triponofobia. To me, it's the most wired that I've heard about. It's like persons can see the like an object with a lot of circles, yeah, and a lot of holes, and very weird to me, like a flower with a circles, and I don't know why, but this person only can to see this kind of object. To me, is very like weird. And I know as well the person has a phobia about the ocean. Yeah, ocean, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know the phobia about this phobia, but I know this person only can see pictures about it, only the ocean, the middle of the ocean, if no object, no ship. Anyway, only the ocean, and the person has I think fear. I don't know, maybe a big fear. To me, it's the
Yeah.
most wild.
This is strange because it's like I don't know if it's associated to appear to swim or to don't have a control when you are inside on the water. I don't know. It's strange because it's like people that can't see an image like with an ocean or stay in a place with a big ocean around.
I will research this kind of phobia.
And you, Fernando?
I think there are so many weird phobias that we cannot imagine. As the video was telling us, really, really in oh, I forgot the word. How can I say that word? But things that we cannot imagine, really. I don't remember any of them besides the ones that you told. But about that medical thing that you was talking about, I'm also really afraid of going, not going to the doctor, it's okay, but medical procedures, really. But I think it's not a phobia, but I am afraid of it. And I will go through a surgery next month, a very simple surgery, but will be the first surgery of my life. So every day I'm thinking about it, and oh, it's terrible. It's terrible when we are afraid of something, and we have to face it. But it's not a phobia; it's just a fear.
Yeah, I don't know a person who is afraid of to have this type of I don't know the correct word, but it's that like a surgery or other procedures involving the health. But it's a fear that we can understand, because it's a new situation for you, and it's not a comfortable situation. So it's okay to be afraid of it. I think so. And when I prepared this topic, I don't remember where I saw it, but I remember that it's a phobia, a specific phobia, so strange that's like a fear to be yourself. And I don't know what is the meaning of it, is what people feel when we are afraid of yourself or themselves, okay? And I read about it, and I forgot to save the link to share to you, but I think in another moment I will bring to you this information. But it's crazy, because can you imagine a people that have afraid of herself or himself?
It's
so
difficult to understand how it works. It's
yeah, exactly.
weird. Yeah.
So, Fernando, you can choose another question for us, please.
Let me see. Number 8. What are some tips for helping someone who has a phobia? I'm gonna share my method that I use with the flying thing, for example, and everything that I am afraid of, which is research about it. Research a lot about it, because I want to know everything, how it works, the surgery as well. I researched a lot about it, and some things let me more terrified, but it's a process. I need to know everything. And I think that helps me, because we tend to be more afraid of things that we don't know. So like the horror movies, for example, in the beginning of the movie, when we don't know, that thing give me more scare. I feel more scared. I am more scared of it. And then when I know what is it, it's okay. So I think it's the same in the real life.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I think when you try to understand the fear and the possibilities, when we are in a situation that you feel afraid of or have a phobia in this situation, when you search about it, it's a good way to understand and to maybe to try to stay more calm in this situation. I remember that in the past I tried to understand why I feel so afraid to stay in crowded place. And I remembered that I had a situation when I was in a bus, and it's a crowded bus. All buses in Brazil are crowded nowadays, and okay. And I remember that I had anxious attack, like I feel so uncomfortable in this place, and I need to go out to the bus because I didn't feel comfortable with all people here around me, and I couldn't breathe in this situation. And then, okay, I understand this situation, and now I know about when I have the same situation, when I have in a similar place with crowded people, I know that nothing happens to me. So it's like okay, I'm secure, but yeah, then I try to breathe more calm, and because I understand the orange of my fear, and today it's easier to lead with this fear. So it's a good way to lead with the phobia. And you, Gabriel?
Yeah, both is a good tips, a good way to has a good result. And I think I consider more aggressive because, for example, my wife has a fear, like a phobia, a snake and spider. And there was a time I catch a snake and show her. And doesn't work. My wife began to screaming a lot, and oh. But I think it's a good tip. It's a normal phobias to me. There's a phobia that I have propers to talk, like, because I have knowledge about this. I don't know, animals. I don't know. And because I try to show the person, like my wife, these animals are important for our environment. And because the person has a phobia, because my wife has a phobia, or anyway, the person people has a phobia, because maybe there's afraid to pass away and to die. Yeah, I think, and maybe I try to show, and like we have in our country only 2, 3 snakes. It's a very danger for our body, but we have I don't know the medicaments, but a pills. Yeah, and it's okay. If the snake maybe bites you, you can find the hospital as soon as you can. No problem. You don't pass away. But maybe if you wait for 3-4 days, it's very danger. And about spider, we have in our country 2 spiders. I don't know. I have no idea in English, but it's armadillo and brown spider, aranha marrom, and it's a spider. And it's the same thing. You go to if you go to the hospital, it's okay. And the another spider, it's a good spider. The spider, it's in our home, in our house, only to eat a mosquito, and that's it.
You are muted, Phobias.
Sorry. It's a good way to talk to the people that have a phobia and try to understand the reasons. And okay, it's like you mentioned about what you do with your life. And other thing that I remember, it's like I think when we have a close friend that have a phobia, sometimes you need to understand that this person cannot face off the phobia. Like you can't force people to face off. So like my friends, like a friend of mine that I mentioned it before about the same phobia that your wife has. I try to don't force my friend to see the photos or to stay in this type of situation. If he feels comfortable to do it, okay. But in turn, I try to don't force her to stay in this situation or to see the photos or to see movies with snakes or something like that, because I think it's a little bit different with fear, because I think when we have a fear, for me, the best way to face off a fear is to lead to a fear is to face off, like it's like just to stay in a place that you have a fear, or to try to I don't know how to explain this in English, but it's like to superar when you have in a situation that you so feel afraid of. But when we are talking about phobias, I think it's different because it's a big fear, and sometimes people don't stay comfortable to do it. Like for example, I have in the past I have a fear to talk in public, so I try to talk in public more to lead to my fear. But if people have a social phobia, maybe this strategy is not good because it's like it's to force these people to stay in a situation that's so difficult to her or to him. I don't know. So I think it's a little bit different. I don't know if you agree with me, but I think it depends on the level of fear or depend on the phobia.
Yeah, it can lead to another trauma. It can make this phobia even worse. I guess. So yeah, Gabriel, it was a terrible idea. What you've done.
Yeah, man. But I try, but I show because she was close to me, but not.
And it's interesting that your wife has a phobia that is exactly something that you face at work. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Gabriel, you can choose other question for us, please.
Well, let me see. Number 9. Do you think there's a cure for phobias, or are they just alleviated through treatments? Share your thoughts. Yeah, overcome. Yeah. Let me see. I think the cure, it's a strange word to this kind of subject. I think it isn't having a cure. I think it has a treatment, because nowadays there's a lot of specialists about our minds that work with our minds, like let me say in English. I don't know this word in Portuguese. Even in English, I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people nowadays, like in my region, there are a lot of people that work is like with a Reiki. Here is our specialist, and Reiki as well. I don't know. I forgot, but I know this person, this professional work in our mind, and if I'm not mistaken, there's a hipnose condicionativa. They try to understand our problem in our past. I don't know what to say, traumas, and try to fix and this problem in your mind. And I think I don't know if it works, but I've never do this kind of thing. But I believe this kind of work help, because I think it's good.
Yeah, in my case, I think most of phobias are treatable, but I think no single treatment is a guarantee to work for all phobias, and it's not a guarantee to cure the phobia. I think all the phobias are treatable, and maybe people can find okay. I think people can find a way or a treatment that can work to treat the phobia, but sometimes I see maybe on internet or social media people trying to send crazy treatments to treat the phobia. Like, I don't have an example because I don't know about it, but I remember that I saw it in the past, like to stay in front of a mirror and scream like I'm a possible, I don't know, it's like something like that. I don't know if it works, but maybe when people are in a situation so afraid of something, I think they can try everything to find a treatment that really works. So I think it works for a person. Okay, I think this is the way. And you, Fernando?
I agree with you. I think there are a lot of ways to get over something like that. And it reminds me of other story about my childhood, that I was afraid of buses, of of uh, 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 of cars, big cars, buses, trucks, things like that, because my mother took me to a ride in a roller coaster in a amusement park, and that experience was traumatized for me, was a trauma for me, because I was not ready. I was too small for that. And I remember, even to nowadays, I remember this. And I overcame this through therapy, going to psychologist and talking a lot of talks. And nowadays it's of course a silly thing. Oh, whoa, you were afraid of buses, but when I was a child, was a huge challenge for me getting to a bus, and I needed that because my mother didn't have a car, so I needed buses in my life. So yeah, but of course there are many ways to treat.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think therapy is a good way to understand what the feelings and the reasons that you feel so afraid to understand the phobia. And yeah, I think when I think I did it in the past, like to understand my phobia, not a phobia, but why I feel so uncomfortable in crowded place. And it works. It works because it's like to look to the past and understand the reasons. And sometimes many phobias develop on the childhood, like I don't know, maybe because not because your family, but because the environment that we are with other children, we are discovering new things every time when we are a child. And yeah, I think in this moment, all the phobias develop on the childhood, and when we are older, we need to come back to look to the past and try to understand the reasons to treat the phobia or lead in a good way with fears. So yeah, it's a good strategy. I choose another question. We have a time to answer one question more, and it's the question number 10. Do you agree that our culture and lifestyle make people more prone to developing phobias, and why? Yeah, I think so, because nowadays we have a lot of information. We have stressful routines. I don't know, we live in a different world than our parents, and we are in a generation that's try to understand everything in your life. So I think the way that we live nowadays make people more prone to developing phobias. And I think it's the reason that we have a lot of phobias with different names and specific phobias, because we have a lot of things nowadays in your lives, and we have a busy lives. So yeah, I agree. And you, Gabriel?
Yeah, I agree with you. Nowadays we have a lot of things. Our days are becoming more faster each day, and we have more a lot of information, social media, and what else? Let me see. Let me see. I don't know. Help me, Fernando.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's everything so fast, and I think not just about phobias, but everything that it relates to mental health is getting worse now, because we live we receive a bunch of news every day, bad news, fake news, and it's so many things, and we live rushing around and doing a lot of things at the same time, so we are getting crazy, all of us. Our generation is like I think is like a link generation, because the past generation was totally different, and now we saw the internet growing and everything happening, changing, and the next generation will get used to it. So we are in the middle. So it's everything new for us, and it's difficult. It's challenging.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And guys, do you believe that the lifestyle that you have makes make us more prone to have social phobias or situation phobias? Because for me, it's like when I try to think about the past, I think nowadays we have a lot of social phobias and a lot of situations phobias than other specific phobias. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but if you can share your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think bullying is a big way, a big problem, a social phobia. Like you said before, the person has a people has a like not a fear, but it's a phobia to talk in public, and maybe the bullying maybe help this person has this kind of phobia, like maybe this person like how can I say, it was talking about your homework and from the class, and your friends started to laughing, and it's make a block in our mind, and I think it's a big problem.
Yeah, and sorry, Gabi, you
No,
was getting
go ahead.
about that social anxiety, social phobia. We don't need to look back that much. Just 2 years ago, with the pandemic, it changed completely the way that we face those things. Even nowadays, I'm not the same that I used to be. Now I spend more time at home, and I see my friends with less frequency. So I think it's another changing that we are going through, and I don't know if it's good, it's bad, but it's a changing that we are facing, and probably will bring a lot of consequences in the next few years.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, because we passed through 3 years, strange years, and complicated years when we are in a pandemic scenario. And I think this situation could be cause more phobias in the future and maybe nowadays too. So it's not what we live in the last years is not it was not easy to lead. It's not easy to overcome. And I think maybe I think there is some people that are studying this situation and may try to correlate the pandemic with developing new phobias, because I think it's so possible. And guys, I will put on the chat the survey about this immersion. So in this link, you can evaluate the immersion from 0 to 10 and put all comments about the immersion, maybe suggestions, or maybe a suggestion of a topic that you can talking about and I can bring to you in another meeting. And I'm so grateful for you stay here with me, with your time. And I hope you enjoy the conversation here, because I enjoy it.
Yeah, me too.
It was lovely. I
Thanks,
really
man.
like it too.
Thanks, Gabriele. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys. See you.